Grand afternoon to all you beautiful souls of light and to all my friends. I am honored and I am so privileged that you are here today. I am Cindy Lorraine Grace and I am with CLG Viewpoint. Today is January 13th, 2025, and it's Monday, the first day of 7. Each week will be filled with so much different stories and perspectives. And I've decided to add another day, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. For some of you that haven't been here to CLG Viewpoint, I do have 2 Telegram pages. One is CLG Viewpoint, and the second is CLG Viewpoint Chat. If you want to chat or you have any ideas or small videos that you would like to share that we can present here, I would love to see them, and I'd be honored. And a good place to get to know each other, make new friends. Now, each segment, I start with a sage clearing. It's a herb that clears all negative entities and energies from your space, and your space too, at home. And you can send it out to the world. So, to all low energy entities, you are healed, forgiven, enlightened, and sent back to your perfect place and escorted by my spiritual guides. And so it is. And now we're full of joy, happiness, and love. Now on to Health Sense. Today, I'd like to share Dr. Max Gerson on the Gerson therapy. How it works? Well, it was developed in the 1920s by Dr. Max Gerson. The Gerson therapy is a natural treatment system that activates the body's extraordinary ability to heal itself. Yes, heal itself by treating the underlying cause of degenerative disease, toxicity, and nutritional deficiency through a specific protocol consisting of organic, plant-based diet, raw juices, detoxification, and natural supplements. Get the details from his book, Gerson Therapy Handbook. Dr. Max Gerson is the father of Charlotte Gerson. She had continued his work after he passed on. This is the Gerson therapy that Charlotte Gerson wrote. The Gerson Institute in 1978 was founded and was created to spread awareness of the Gerson therapy. For over 40 years, they have been the leading global source of information, licensing, training, and patient support for treating the underlying causes of disease, toxicity, and nutritional deficiency. They have helped thousands of patients recover from chronic degenerative diseases. This is Charlotte Gerson. She did pass on to the other side at 96 years young. Her quote is, "You can't keep one disease and heal 2 others. When the body heals, it heals everything." She's beautiful. And here's a quote from Albert Schweitzer. "I see in Gerson one of the most eminent geniuses in the history of medicine." Yes, a very amazing man. And now, on to Truth News. Victoria News, written by Jennifer Smith, January the 7th, 2024. Emergency support ends, effectively leaving BC fire victims homeless. Suspicious blaze broke out in Vernon on January the 3rd. Residents run out of support this week. Dozens of people forced from their apartment following a fire Friday are now left to fend for themselves. A suspicious blaze broke out early January the 3rd at the multi-level complex in the 3600 block of 30th Avenue. The fire, which RCMP investigated, started with a car parked next to the building, spread to a second vehicle, and moved into the building. Residents were forced out of their homes with little more than the shirts on their backs, while firefighters extinguished the blaze. The fire spread into 3 suites, while several sustained smoke and water damage. But that support of hotel and food vouchers ran out this week. Yes, ran out, leaving those residents effectively homeless. Another added number of all the homeless we have in BC and across Canada and around the world. Quote, now we're pretty much screwed, close quote, one resident told the Morning Star, estimating there are 30 people who lived in the building. CTV News, written by Ted Raymond, January the 7th. 10 displaced after fire on Ogilvie Road, one of 4 fires in Ottawa on Tuesday. 10 people are homeless after a fire in a home in Beacon Hill Tuesday morning, one of 4 fires Ottawa firefighters dealt with on a cold January day. Firefighters were called to a home on the 2000 block, reporting heavy black smoke and flames coming from a townhouse. The first and second floors were both damaged by the fire. Firefighters had to pull the ceilings from in the top floor of both units to extinguish the flames that had spread throughout the attics. It took more than 2 hours to get the blaze under control. What caused the fire is under investigation. No one was reported hurt. CTV News, written by Josh Pringle, January 6. 5 people have been displaced following a Monday morning fire in Ottawa's Beacon Hill neighborhood. Officials say the fire started in a solarium at the back of the home and spread to the basement and the kitchen that was located right off the solarium. All occupants of the home have safely exited by the time firefighters arrived. Officials say 4 adults and a child will be displaced and are receiving victim assistance. A man was treated at the scene for minor smoke inhalation, according to paramedics. Cause of this fire, again, remains under investigation. CTV News, Alexander Hoke, January 5th, 2025. Absolutely devastating. Southern Manitoba Golf Course clubhouse burns for second time in 4 years. A golf course clubhouse in Morden, Manitoba went up in flames. Sunday for the second time in less than 4 years and mere days after its reopening. From the previous fire was celebrated. While a cause for the blaze hasn't been determined, Hesson said he believed it was an accidental fire which started in the kitchen. I very much doubt it's criminal in nature, he said, noting that the investigation is ongoing. No one was in the clubhouse at the time of the fire and no injuries were reported. CTV News, written by William Eltherton, January 7th. 2 taken to hospital in early morning South Keys fire. 2 people were taken to hospital after early morning house fire in Ottawa's South Keys neighborhood on Tuesday. On arrival, 5 crews found the flames had also spread to a vehicle in the driveway. Firefighters began a fast attack on the fire and advanced a hose line inside the structure. Ottawa paramedics says 2 women were assessed at the scene for minor smoke inhalation. Ottawa Fire Services investigator has been dispatched to the scene to determine the cause and the origin of the incident. CTV News, written by Tula Mazula, January 3rd. High-rise fire on Ramsey Crescent displaces 39 residents, injures 16. Nearly 40 people have been forced out of their homes following an early morning fire in an Ottawa high-rise building. The Ottawa Paramedic Service says 4 adult women were taken to hospital following a fire that happened in a high-rise on Ramsay Crescent in the west end of Ottawa. Paramedics told CTV News Ottawa the 4 women were transported to hospital in stable condition due to smoke inhalation. Meanwhile, 12 other residents and eight of which were children were assessed and treated at the scene. The investigation into what led to the fire is ongoing. Now that's sick news written by Darren Letts, January the 8th, 2025. And excuse me if I mispronounce some of these words. Cadet Hall opened as warming center for people displaced by blaze. Flames, heavy smoke as emergency crews work into the night. Fire ripped through an equalite apartment building, taking less than 5 hours to destroy it, forcing its residents to seek shelter at a nearby restaurant and an emergency shelter. Its residents were forced to seek the shelter. The city announced a warming shelter was open at the Cadet Hall for people which was displaced by the fire. RCMP officials were not immediately available to say how many units and families were affected or if any injuries were reported. It's an ongoing investigation. Homes, pub, museum, historic boardwalk among ruins of Telegraph Cove fire. Global News, written by Amy Judd on December 31st, 2024. Fire crews were called to a huge blaze in Telegraph Cove on Vancouver Island Tuesday morning, leaving parts of the resort community in smoldering ruins. Port McNeill Fire Chief said the call came in at 5:27 a.m. and crews could see huge flames and smoke over the mountain as they drove to the fire. Quote, multiple houses, multiple buildings, the museum, the restaurant, multiple, close quote. He said about the extent of the damage, noting many of them were historic buildings. He added that Telegraph Cove does not have its own fire hydrant system. Along with Port McNeill, Alert Bay Fire Department, Hyde Creek Volunteer Fire Department, and Port Hardy Fire Rescue responded to the fire. Telegraph Cove is a small community on northeastern Vancouver Island, located south of Port Hardy. It is known for its whale watching opportunities and ecotourism. Personal thoughts. Since December 31st, 2024, each incident is under investigation at the fire at Telegraph Cove. The resort was totally empty for the winter. Everything was shut off. No one was living there. How could that fire start? A thorough investigation has been started. Likewise with all the rest of the 7 fires. Now, on to international news. Mineral wars, global conflicts fueled by competition for rare resources. Sputnik News by Ilya Teskunov, January 11, 2025. The coming years are set to exacerbate the global geoeconomic competition for the world's mineral resources, with President Trump openly eyeing 12 million square meters of territory containing untold riches. Here are the conflicts, present and potentially future, to watch out for. Ukraine. The U.S., quote, cannot afford, close quote, to let Moscow achieve victory in Ukraine, which is sitting on 10 to 12 trillion of critical minerals. Ukraine is endowed with 3 to 11.5 trillion in lithium alone, plus trillions more in silver, gold, uranium, aluminum, copper, iron, magnesium, titanium, and hydrocarbons. It has also got Europe's biggest supply of rare earths like beryllium, niobium, and zirconium. Bolivia. Bolivia has faced 190 coups and revolutions over its history. It's little wonder given its vast resource wealth from gold and silver to tungsten, zinc, lead, tin, and nickel. Quote, we will coup whoever we want. Deal with it. Close quote. That was from Elon Musk's tweeted in 2020 in response to news that the U.S. had organized another coup in Bolivia. Bolivia has 23 million tons of lithium. It also has scandium and yttrium, two of the most sought after rare earths for industrial and military use. Venezuela. Quote, it will make a big difference to the United States economically if we could have American oil companies really invest in and produce the oil capabilities in Venezuela, close quote, former Trump advisor John Bolton said in 2019, amid Washington's attempt to oust President Maduro. It certainly would, sitting on top of up to 300 billion barrels of proven oil reserves, the biggest anywhere. Venezuela is an energy powerhouse. It also has minerals giant with eye-watering resources like gold, uranium, iron ores, precious metals, blue gold. No wonder the U.S. has labeled Venezuela and its $14 trillion resource pile as an, quote, unusual and extraordinary threat, close quote. Iran, another country classified by the U.S. as an unusual and extraordinary threat. Iran is home to an estimated $27 trillion in resource wealth. No wonder it's been a regular target for regime change since the Islamic Revolution of 1979. While proven resource reserves consist mostly of oil and gas, it does have vast stocks of minerals. 8.5 million ton lithium deposits. 2022, the Iranian Mines and Mining Industry Development and Renovation Organization reported that some $28.7 billion in mineral resources from iron ore, lead, and bauxite. Canada. Quote, the joke is over, close quote, Canadian Finance Minister said in response to Donald Trump's string of comments about Canada becoming the 51st state. It's a way for him to sow confusion, to agitate people, to create chaos, knowing this will never happen. Endowed with $33 trillion, Canada, in resources from oil, gas, uranium, phosphates, cadmium, lead, titanium, zinc, and so forth, and a sprinkling of rare earth mines dot the true north, strong and free. Who knows if Trump's really joking? Greenland. Quote, Greenland is for the Greenlandic people. We do not want to be Danish. We do not want to be American. We have a desire to be independent. Greenland is sitting on mineral wealth, the scale of which has not been fully explored, from precious metals and stones to graphite, uranium, and of course, rare earths. At least 1.5 million tons of them. Africa. Racked by a post-colonial legacy of instability and violence, the African continent also happens to be home to some of the world's largest untapped mineral reserves. It's a great wealth, comes with great risks as global power centers vie for control. The Democratic Republic of Congo, for example, has the world's largest cobalt reserves, 6 million tons. Guinea, also suffering its share of coups, happens to be the world's second largest producer of bauxite used to produce the strategic metal aluminum. It also has high quality golds and diamonds. Zimbabwe, which saw a coup against longtime Western rival President Robert Mugabe in 2017. The largest lithium reserves, 11 million tons. Kenya, whose president got a red carpet welcome in Washington last May, is also, unsurprisingly, a key rising rare earths giant, with deposits discovered at an estimated to some worth $62.4 billion. Besides rare earths, Kenya is rich in iron ore and gold, limestone, gemstones, and magnesium ore. No wonder the U.S. has labeled the country, quote, major non-NATO ally, close quote. Personal thoughts. The U.S. bullying other countries for their natural resources may be coming to an end. Looking at Canada, why do we have a huge population of beautiful souls of light who are homeless and over 9 million who are starving, when Canada is endowed with $33 trillion in resources, and this does not include unexplored critical minerals and natural resources that are still abundant in the country? Now, on to inspirational souls of light. Mother Mary, quote, if you knew how much I love you, you'd cry with joy. Queen of Peace. Kuan Yin, quote, accepting yourself unconditionally and wanting to grow is very different than disliking and rejection of others. You are perfect just as you are. I am Cindy Lorraine Grace of CLG Viewpoint, and I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being here today. Thank you. If you feel compelled to, please share this forum for others to enjoy. Have a truly wonderful day and see you on Wednesday. Now, I have some pictures and some music. Enjoy this. The pictures are photographed by my brother, Don.